We were never going to beat Method Black. We were never going to beat Diablos. We were never going to beat Cloud9. That's just how it is. How's it going, guys? Cdew here. And I would just like to discuss a little bit about, you know, the year in general, how the tournaments have gone, how this this tournament went, and, you know, what our plans are for the future. So, you know, not to sugarcoat it, we had a pretty bad year overall. Probably one of my worst tournament years ever. We didn't get a single online win, and we definitely could have. We've gotten second place probably 2, 3, 4 times. I can't even remember. So all those were definitely possible for us to win. Generally, I think like we were barely on the, you know, making it to the actual lands. The first land we kind of went 0-6. This second land we didn't do too great, but that's kind of for different reasons I'll talk about. But overall, I would say at the very start of the year, I would say it was a mixture of being maybe a little overconfident and also a little unmotivated that kind of led us to do poorly. Just basically like, oh, you know, we're kind of the BlizzCon champions. So those two, I think, kind of made us start off to like a very bad start. I also think at the very start, Trill was doing like world first rating. And then towards the end, I think he started doing MDI. So it was like really, really bad in terms of practicing. Not only that, I feel like we kind of sat around and waited for changes a lot. Like, we're like, okay, this seems really overpowered. There's probably going to be changes, right? And like a week goes by, 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by. You know, so many weeks go by and just is like, wow, they're really like, they're not changing this. Like, Mage Druid just feels insane. Rest of Druids feel insane. What's going on? Blizzard's got to nerf this. This seems crazy. And surely enough, it never happened. So it's like, the first half of the season, we kind of felt like we made the mistake that we like waited for changes too much, and we probably should have taken things into our own hand. We kind of felt like we weren't getting enough time to practice because Ryan was spreading himself too thin. And I think overall we were just kind of bad. I think we were focusing like way too much on DH as opposed to Windwalker, and I felt like people started... DH felt really powerful from the start, and I felt like people started having less and less success with the DH. Mana Burn was really effective at first, and I think people started to get way better at CCing Demon Hunter to prevent him from actually getting Mana Burns often. Especially when he's like in meta form. Like if you CC the meta, that's what was like really important, because that's like his haste. So he needs like the haste to actually get the stun, then land the mana burn to actually work through Relentless. And I think players also just got better at like setting up drinks and going for drinks really early instead of just kind of getting tapped and being in a situation where if you try and go for a drink, you just die. So that was problem number one. So we started to do a lot more Windwalker stuff as opposed to Demon Hunter stuff in Season 2. But then the same thing kind of happened in Season 2. We're like, oh wow, Rogue Mage is really overpowered. Good thing it's winning every tourney, it's going to get nerfed. Haha, guess again. Never ended up getting nerfed. But another thing that we had in Season 2 was like, we're like, alright, you know, it's the European tourney. Like, let's see what beats Rogue Mage. Oh, Rogue Mage won the cup. The only thing that beat Rogue Mage was Rogue Mage. Okay, you know. Let's see the NA tourney. What's beating Rogue Mage? Oh, nothing. So every week we have no information to go off of on how to actually beat Rogue Mage to try and copy other people's strategies or comp picks in order to beat Rogue Mage. So it just kind of felt like we were left with like no information. It kind of felt like Rogue Mage had no counter. So it put us in a really awkward situation for this tournament where Blizzard decided to nerf Unholy DKs by 33%, which, gonna be honest, kind of pissed me off a lot. You know what I'm saying? Rogue Mage is out here winning almost every single tournament. Unholy DKs are out here plaguing ladder. You know what I'm saying? As a tournament player, sure, ladder's important, but Rogue Mage, question mark. Nerf temp shield by 2 seconds, which is actually a buff, question mark. Whatever. So that kind of pissed me off a little bit. Like, that unmotivated me a little bit more. And then on top of that, like, we wanted to go really hard with practicing for the tournament before Classic came out. And then Blizzard's like, oh yeah, we can't update the tournament realms for, you know, a couple weeks. A couple weeks go by. Oh no, we can't update the tournament realms because this goes by. Oh, we can't update the gear yet. So it was like Classic came out and tournament we haven't had a chance to war game for a month or so because Blizzard didn't or couldn't update the tournament realms. And then after like a week and a half or 2 weeks of Classic being out, they finally updated the tournament realms. And at that point, I'm just like, this doesn't, like, I don't even know if I care to practice for this. Like, you know what I mean? We ended up getting a few nights of war games I think, before the tournament, and like we were just able to get right back in the swing of things. It felt like we didn't drop a beat at all. We were just able to log on and press our buttons, and you know, that was that. We knew going into this tournament we'd probably play 99% Windwalker DK as Frost, mainly because Frost got buffed, Unholy got nerfed. But we also went into this tournament thinking that, you know, either Frost Windwalker DK was going to be the best comp in the game, or we weren't going to be able to win. We had no idea if we could beat Rogue Mage or not. Spoiler alert, couldn't beat Rogue Mage. Still lost to it. So, most tournaments I lose in, I think to myself, wow, I could have done this differently. I could have played this comp. We should have tried this. If we replayed this tournament 1,000 times over, we would lose 1,000 times. We were never going to beat Method Black. We were never going to beat Diablos. We were never going to beat Cloud9. That's just how it is. It's very sad, but it's very true. And to this day, I still don't know what comps we could have played to beat those teams. And if someone finally figures out the comp, is it a comp that we could have played? You know what I'm saying? It's just really, really awkward. It's a really awkward situation. So, all the guys and I we're not down. You know what I mean? I feel like we went out there, we did our best. Like people say, maybe we could have practiced more, but I don't think it would have gotten us any further. We wargamed Diablos. They beat us in every single wargame. They 3-0'd us on stage. We wargamed Method Black. They beat us in every single wargame. They 3-0'd us on stage. Like, we did practice against those teams, and we just could not beat them with Windwalker DK. I don't think we had anything in our arsenal we could have beat them with. So, it's a little sad. So, next year, we definitely plan on sticking together. Like, we're not down by any means. We just are hoping that Blizzard decides to actually balance the game, hopefully in our favor. Sometimes you have it. I'm not upset at the players, man. Play to win. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have the meta in your lap. Happened to us last year. We won BlizzCon. Sometimes you don't. So, can't even say I'm really upset about it. But I do think that this has been the longest stretch of time in which there has been no meta shifts. Because I really feel like it's been Mage Druid for the entire year. The entire year. Cloud9 bullying people with MLD. 2 tournaments in a row land. You know, don't get me wrong. Those guys are freaking insane. They deserve their win and then some, because they're the only one that can do what they're doing. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's playing Rogue Mage doing well. No one else is playing MLD and doing well. So you respect that for sure. But it just feels like Blizzard stopped caring or something, or doesn't understand, or I don't know. I can't even fathom like how some classes are just so terrible for so long and how some are so good for so long. And I think it's always been this way. I just think that my classes are always on the better end, so you don't really see, I guess, the shittier side, but here we are. So we definitely plan on competing next year. We just hope that we have more fun, because I think the biggest problem is that the game this year, it feels like so many games in the tournament, you know, your win condition is to dampen. And granted, that's a good strategy, but it feels like sometimes that's the strategy for every single comp. And if you fight a Destro Warlock, it feels like it's going to be a 15-minute game. You fight a Mage Rogue, it's going to be a 15-minute game. You fight a DHDK, it's going to be a 15-minute game. And if that's the entire meta, it's just not fun to play. It's not fun to watch. It's going to ruin WoW esports. So we want to play next year. We're hoping it's a different meta. If it's not, if it's the same old crap, there's a chance that we might not be interested in playing. I kind of doubt it, but yeah, I just want to leave you guys with like what our thoughts were on the tournament, what our thoughts were on how we performed. I actually think we did a pretty good job. I feel like we didn't play perfect. And if we weren't playing as much Classic, maybe we'd have like better setups and stuff, but it's really hard to get perfect setups versus RMD, because you grip and then you get kidney shot at the same time. You lost your setup. I think one of the times you got cloned same time we gripped, we lose our setup. It's really difficult. So we knew going into this tournament, it was us versus RMD. And unfortunately, boys, RMD won. Feels bad, man. So just want to leave you guys with my thoughts on the tournament. Overall, I thought it was a pretty good tournament. I would say my MVP team at the tournament was Wildcard Gaming for playing non-meta comps and doing really well.
Still waiting for Shadow.
Those guys on.
Feels bad, man.
So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching, and hopefully we can do better next year. Not let any of you guys down. Alright, we're going to end up putting that on YouTube. Fook it. I feel like I had some decent thoughts there. But yeah, there was definitely a lot of stuff that kind of made us feel like it was unmotivating for sure. So that definitely sucks. But overall, man, I just don't think we could have ever done anything to win this tourney. That's literally just the truth. That's literally just the truth.